Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Welcome.
Welcome.
It's been a hot minute.
We got some stuff to talk about for sure.
Multi-minute.
Should be a good episode. Thank you guys so much for listening, watching, viewing, subscribing. Make sure you go down below, hit that like button, comment your favorite thing to do during the summer.
Good call.
And follow our socials at Speaking Sporadically on TikTok and Instagram. We got to start posting on there too.
Yeah, for sure.
So we should have some new content, hopefully some funny clips and stuff coming on that. So make sure you follow that. It's free, so why not?
As a lot of you guys probably were, we were just finishing up college exams, getting our summer started, so we're going to get back into the swing of thing, get some routines established.
We took our quarterly monthly break.
Yeah.
We wondered like how are we 12 episodes behind?
Yeah.
Well,
I think next year the third birthday we're not going to have to stress about the 150 because
no, it's not.
It's going to be too stressful this time.
That's not going to happen.
So we'll just chill, like whatever we're at. That's what it'll be.
I wanted to like actually talk about that and like dive deep into like how it, because we were doing so good.
Well, I like what point are you saying?
Like
a month ago.
Yeah, like when we just fell off. Like when was the last time we posted? When was
April? Like I think it was before my cousin's wedding.
We have one filmed right now. That's not even up.
Yeah.
That's 100% my fault. I was swamped with life.
Yeah, that's fine. And like it still doesn't solve the one problem we're at like now, you know?
Yeah.
Like it still doesn't explain our month off. But yeah, sorry if you guys are constant viewers. We've taken a break, but we should be getting back.
I mean, if you guys have been hanging out with us, it's kind of your fault for hanging out with us.
That's true. I haven't heard much bitching about it.
No. Surprising.
Well, Jason said something to me the other day. He was more
so one person.
Well, he was more mad because he listens to him on Spotify. We only have like 93 up on Spotify.
No, I got more. We're closer than that. I got a lot of the small ones up. I'm not sure when. It might have been before, but
yeah,
we're a little bit closer. When does it say? April 23rd. So right at a month was our last one uploaded.
It's currently May 23rd.
May 24th.
So is it 24th?
One day over. But yeah.
Still.
I don't know what happened.
I feel like they started working at the golf course. Like some of them got done with college, except for Jacob. Jacob just got done, like 2 weeks ago, a week ago? Last Wednesday. Like, they started working more. So, obviously, there's the whole, like, work and fun balance. Like, you got to find them. It takes a little bit to catch up.
Then you have everyone coming home from college. So, a lot of people I haven't seen in a quick minute that I feel I made time with to hang out with and visit.
But the thing that gets me, too, is, like, we didn't even try. Like, I literally think we forgot about it for, like, a good 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, you started saying something.
It was always on my mind. I'll say that. It was always on my mind.
I think, like, I kind of forgot about it.
So I have, like, I could literally show you guys. I have a journal that I write down, like, all my to-do list in for the day, especially when I'm hard in school. And I can show you guys literally, like, 2 weeks. It was, like, the 2 weeks prior to 2 weeks ago. Every single day on my to-do list was post the pod, edit the pod. And it never got crossed off. Just never got it done. So it was always on my mind. I just didn't have the time to do it.
It was just weird because, like, I remember us filming that last one. We filmed it. And then usually, like, the next week rolls around and Sunday hits or whatever, or Saturday, and I'm thinking about it. I don't think I did. I think I just didn't.
I think it was your finals. That was your finals week that week. So you're, like, just kind of, like, blowing out stress. Like, it's that finals week. Like, we're done. Time to, like, let some steam out.
May have been.
It's been a hard semester, whatever.
Because, I was always finishing up. If it was around that time. Which,
it definitely was.
Yeah, it would have been.
Because I ended up being done, like, the week before because my one project got canceled.
Yeah.
So
based on when that last one was uploaded, it would have been my finals week. And obviously that weekend, I'm going to do some celebration. I don't know if we did something. Probably hanging out with
think we did
something.
It was the weekend before we went to Adams. So.
Yeah. So it was, the end of school. It was also, like, Monday I started my new job. So I was probably thinking about that, and I just forgot about it. And then I think I guess 1 week might have just threw us off enough where we just forgot about 1 week, and then the next week came, and it was the same
2 weeks, and it's whatever.
For me, you guys literally should have seen my schedule. It was bonkers. Like, right after we posted the last pod, it got to the point where I would wake up at about 6, work on homework, go into work at 9, work 9 to 5 because this was during Lent, like when we were doing the fish dinners.
Lent was over, bro.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Lent's been over for like 6 weeks.
Well, I guess that schedule.
7
That was
weeks.
like my Lent schedule through work.
I mean, you're still probably on that same schedule.
And then it kind of was the same
Lent.
schedule, but it would be more like 9 to 2 break from 2 to 5, then back to work at 5. But I was still doing my homework, so it was pretty much like 6 a.m. wake up, homework till 9, go into work, break, go lift, work until close, go home.
Yeah. I think I was kind of in the same thing too. I just was working, and then I'd come home, do the things I got to do at home, whatever that be. And obviously, like, I'm trying to get to bed earlier because, like, at Scott's, and I'll talk about it later. I plan to just talk about a little bit about my job and more about, like, kind of what I'm learning on a broader spectrum. But I think I was just trying to get to bed early, and I want to pack my lunch the night before because I'm not going to do it the morning of, trying to get to bed earlier and make sure to shower and brush my teeth and make sure I got a good shave because I don't want to come in looking gross and everything. And I just kind of forgot about it. But until, like, it was probably about 2 weeks ago, we're like, yo, boys, we got to hop back on it. And then again, like we were saying, like, we're all super busy, so it's, like, hard to get a time. Like, all right, tomorrow? And then, like, I can't, you know.
It's either one person has work or those three all have work.
That is, like, the biggest thing, too, I thought about. Like, one of the biggest reasons is our schedules, like, us five, they conflict, like, the worst possible. Like, me and Luke are, like, the morning.
I work during the days, and then I work 2 nights a night.
Yeah, the first shifters where, you know, we're busy from morning till, like, 4. And then you guys are busy from, like, 3. Would you say you average 10. To go in? Like, average around there 3 to night or whatever. And then by the time they get off at night, they'd be like, yeah, we could film because we don't have to get up early. But we're like, no, we're going to bed. So it was just like...
Yeah, it's pretty much first and second shift.
Yeah, basically. So it's, like, kind of super conflicting.
Yeah, you jokingly said last week, what you doing at 4 a.m.? I'm like, sleeping. Yeah. I will not be awake. Not a chance.
Because I could easily, if I had to, I could easily wake up at 3, film from 4 to 6, then go sleep 7 to 2.
A couple hours, yeah.
Yeah. Or not even a couple. It could be like, full night's rest.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it would be 7 hours. But, yeah, I guess we're back, and hopefully we'll be back.
Try to stay back.
Anyways, that's a gist of that.
Where we've been.
Just so you guys don't get so worried. And when we're old men, we can look back and listen to us and be like, how the hell did we work so hard?
Yeah. Why? And then we're like, oh, wait, we're old men. We're 45 and retired.
Yeah. That's why.
That's why. There it is.
One quick thing I wanted to say, because I don't know what big topic we're going to get in next, how long it is. Did you guys notice the path? The path here?
It's so
overgrown, bro.
Overgrown.
The last time?
It was still dead the last time. I think we wore jeans in the last episode. Yeah. Or at least one part was covered in long sleeves. It's either pants or like
I thought
a sweatshirt.
of literally like the diameter of the path.
Yes.
Closed
That's what I
Like
noticed.
2 folds.
I walked up to it and I was like, dude, I'm going to have to like get skinny, bro. I'd go in sideways. So I'm kidding. But it is so much more grown. It's
even the
cool.
sound quality out here was so much different with rustling leaves and like animal critter life just being alive. So, which was nice.
But yeah, I noticed that.
And like obviously there's not much light right now, but we got here at 8 and it was still sunny out.
Which usually it's not.
Yeah, which just puts you in such a better mood, I think.
A different mood.
It's a different mood. I'm not gonna say better.
It's a better mood.
I don't know. I live in the darkness pretty well.
Oh, I hate it. I love getting woken up by sunshine. I have a perfect east-facing window, and I'll leave just a sliver open. So that literally right when the sun rises, hits me right in the head, and I wake up, and I just feel blessed.
2 different people. I have my blinds turned all the way down. So in my room, I have a big bay window. That's like probably 10 or 12 foot tall. It's like a big, like this, and then like arcs over. All the frick blinds that I have turned, it's pretty much like the lower 3/4. I have them turned dark all times of the year because I'll sleep as long as it'll let me. I just have that top window that lets light in.
Being woken up by sunlight is so much better. Like once I get my
maddening,
it's just not feasible right now. But once I get like my own place sort of, so this is like a down the road, something I want to do when I'm more into my 20s. I'm going to invest in a setup per pretty much when I wake up. Like I'll have like a white alarm clock, which will kind of be like a big light above me, and it'll just like warm yellow light, and it'll kind of start turning on, and then it'll get like real bright. So
you just turn you just make your master bedroom face
like
eastwardly.
That's kind of hard to control.
Well,
I might not be building my own house. I might be in an apartment.
Well, yeah, but
like
when you're looking at places, you can like be like, hey, if there's a chance, like we can get like an east.
It's not gonna be a make or break.
It's not a deal or breaker, but it'd be.
But
cool.
Yeah, I talked to some people like health and wellness, or not. Don't talk to them. I listen to them through social media, and this health and wellness people, that say it just is amazing. And then you obviously have your like emergency like noise in case you don't wake up. But
yeah,
I
would say I think I'm like right in the middle of you guys because obviously you guys know my room. My bed is in the corner between two windows. So like if it's bright outside, it's bright inside. And my blinds really don't do much. Like I have blinds, but they're white cloth and they're like kind of see through. They're kind of like, what am I thinking of? Like like a dryer sheet, a dryer sheet that you throw in your dryer. That's kind of what it is. So it's like it's kind of see through, but like kind of not. Like
it still lets a majority of the light.
It lets a lot in.
Like within the window, we have like blinds that turn up and down.
Like the solid plastic ones.
They're solid plastic. Yeah.
Those make a difference. Yeah,
it's legit. Like I think I'm gonna get blackout blinds when I have my own place. Like turn that room dark in the middle of the day.
Not for me. I want to have my light set up going during the winter, but yeah, preferably like you said, if I did have an east-facing window,
you could do the light thing.
I could make the light thing stop during the summer. Just be woken up by that.
Regular old sunlight.
It kind of sucks though, because like the sun is rising at like 6:30, so I am waking up like 6:40, and I'm going to bed. I'm getting off work like 11:30, going to bed at like midnight. But I feel great. Great.
Like this fall when I was bartending till like 2:30 every Tuesday night, I would sleep until 10 because I need to get my sleep. Otherwise, I can't function well. Like that was totally the move. Like I was sleeping in the basement then, like for like a good 3 months of that time, and it was like some of the best times of my life because I felt like I had my own place. As bad as that sounds, like people always make fun of people who live in their parents' basement, but it was kind of fun because like I felt like I had my own place, but I know I didn't. Like at the end of the day, I still didn't, but it kind of felt like it.
I read a lot of conflicting research of what's more important is if it is like chemically sleeping properly through your circadian rhythm, or actually, even if you need like forced sleep, like always getting your 8 hours.
I go for 9 hours if I can, because that's like the hour and a half, whatever cycle. What the hell is that? What's that called?
Your REM cycle.
Your REM cycle. So I always like if I take a nap, like if I have an option taking a nap, I'm gonna take an hour and a half nap because that's the worst time. Because it's the worst amount of time to take. No, it's perfect because it's exactly one REM cycle. Really I always wake up.
You don't do REM sleep until 2.5 hours into sleep.
Whatever.
Yeah, so
it makes me feel like every time
you're not getting any REM sleep, and when you're sleeping over for 45 minutes, then your brain starts releasing the chemical hormones to prepare for REM sleep. It's pretty much like the idea of if you sleep an hour and a half, you're gonna release the chemicals in your head. Your body's like, oh, we're sleeping. We need to prepare for sleeping functions and like cleaning the brain. But then you're gonna wake up and you're gonna feel groggy, and horrible.
No, I felt great. Every time I take an hour and a half nap, I wake up and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to take on the day now. The rest of the day.
I mean, I have heard that like people have different REM cycles. Like it takes long for different people. I don't know if it can be that drastic from would you say 2.5 to 1.5.
No, I'm saying it takes 2.5 hours until your body can REM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I know you can have different cycles. Like some people are faster than others. But yeah, I've never gotten my naps down to the science. I've always shot for 8 hours. I'm not a huge napper because I always shoot for 8 hours. I found that at 8 hours, like I feel good. I'm not falling asleep during the day.
A 20-minute nap, bro.
That's what I heard. 20-minute nap is like the best. That's good.
From a 20-minute, I literally got into a good thing where I would pretty much take a 20-minute nap before I lifted. Oh my god, like incredible lifts, lifts. Yeah, that's just what I read. Obviously, I would do your own independent research.
My independent research over the last few years of my life has told me an hour and a half nap is like Moneyball.
Yeah.
Anything longer, I do get that groggy feeling. Like if I go for 2 hours or 2.5, like I wake up and I'm like, I gotta force myself to get up and
everyone knows when you take that nap and you think you're late for the school bus.
Yeah.
And you're zonked.
You wake up. You're like,
yeah, that's what you're
trying to. Where am I? Wake up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But from what I've read, I got real big into like the importance of sleep.
I've always been big on the importance of sleep, so I just
actually I'm gonna
sleep.
From where I'm getting at least like 70% of what I'm saying, you guys can keep talking, but I'll find the exact podcast episode that I listened to because it was definitely top. I mean, the 9 other are ours, but it was top 10 most informational podcasts I've ever listened to.
Nice.
So I'll pull up the episode number.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you have anything else? I can move on to this other thing I was going to talk about. If you have anything more about sleep.
Sleep? Not really. This thing is like when I was a kid, Mom always like I had an enforced bedtime like till I was like probably 6th or 7th or 8th grade. Pretty still, like it's 9:30. It's whatever. You got to go to bed. Like you have to go to bed. Like forced. Like if I was like on my iPad in my room, like I got in trouble. Like it was, Mom was always big on sleep. So now I have this great habit of like, I'm going to catch up on my sleep. Like last night, I only got like 6.5 or 7 hours of sleep. And I felt like dog today. And I didn't get a chance for a nap pretty much till later. And I only got to take a 30-minute nap. So I'm still like, behind. I'm in a sleep deficit right now. So I'm hoping tomorrow maybe I can like get home at like 2:30 and catch up for 2 hours, hour and a half.
From like a scientific standpoint, you actually can't catch up on sleep.
But there's such a thing as a sleep deficit, though. Yeah, that's legit.
Well, yeah, you can be behind on sleep, but you can't catch up on it. Once the damage is done,
you can catch up on it.
You can't.
Yes, you can.
You can't.
Yes, you can.
Matthew Walker, a man who has studied sleep for the past 60 years of his life, disagrees. But anyways, here's the podcast. It's the Joe Rogan Experience, episode 1109, and the gentleman he was talking to was Matthew Walker. So he's a neuroscientist and psychologist of the University of California.
Yeah. And you probably could catch up on sleep, just not like the science, like
the quality of it. Probably not.
I think what Luke is saying, like, let's say he's tired.
Yeah, and you can feel less tired, but I think that's mental.
Yeah, like I see what you're saying. Where like you can't catch up once it's done. It's done. You know, you can't. Catch up is a weird word, but like let's say you're tired and you have like the past couple days you've only gotten
that quality of those last like 3 hours of like, or like the last 2 hours that I missed by not getting my 9. Like I can't retrieve that because it was deep REM sleep or whatever. Like I get that I can't retrieve it, but like I can still like attempt to catch up and re-rest myself, like to make myself feel more at 100%.
Like get an extra hour, and then you
like
go
tonight,
back to feeling.
I'm
like
gonna go home
kind of,
like after this episode, and I'm gonna sleep until 7:15 tomorrow, and I'm gonna feel better about myself because I have 3 more hours of sleep than I got last night.
Yeah, I think that's more of like how you mentally feel versus how like your brain's been cleaned out.
Sure.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an analogy for it. Kind of like cleaning your house. Like, say you don't clean your house for a year. And you're like, oh, I'm going to clean it really, really good at the end of this year. Like, your house has still been dirty for that full year. You know,
like there's a lot to do.
It's still going to be, it was always dirty during that time, but you can make it back to like a clean, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. You guys got anything more about sleep?
No.
Talked about sleep enough. Let's sleep a little bit on the pod. We'll wake up. Yeah. Tell the people how we feel.
We should do it. We should do a
take another month off. Dude, we'll sleep on the pod.
I want to go live on YouTube and do a sleep deprivation and cabin isolation experiment. Get like 3 days of food.
I might murder you. I'm not gonna lie.
We tried not.
I watched today. I watched Logan Paul's podcast. He had David Blaine on, which is really cool. Like obviously,
we talked about David Blaine. Yeah,
you got to watch it. People. And he talked about how like. During a bunch of his stunts or his endurance test, he experienced hallucinations because he was so awake for so long. And he said, and he's like also like learned and like heard from professionals and smart people that like the hallucinations you get from like insane sleep deprivation is 10 times stronger than any psychedelic or any drug, any type of chemical out there that exists. That is 10 times weaker than staying awake for like 50 hours. And he described it how your brain wants to sleep and body wants to sleep so bad. So how your brain does it's kind of creepy. Your brain starts bringing out your innermost, deepest fears and forces you to see it to make it go away. Like it wants you to go to sleep. So like he literally said he looked at like his arms and like just the whole world around him, like even himself, and he said he could just see his deepest fears. He didn't say like what it was, but he said, I just looked at like my arms and my body and all around, all I saw was just my worst fears. And it's just like basically to scare you to sleep.
Dude, I'm getting like goosebumps.
It's wild.
Force you to like close your eyes, like wish for it to go away and like go to sleep so your body could sleep. And I was like, dang, that's whack, bro.
Yeah, he would be something cool to hear talk because he doesn't do many things where he goes out and talks about a lot of his experience. He doesn't do too much of that.
Another quick thing about David Blaine that I'm so pumped for now is So he has a number of shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And each show, he just like explained this on the pod, started with each letter in his name. Like David, like he had, I don't know, you could look, like his most recent one is in spades, and it was the I in David Blaine, like in the I in David. And he has all of them, and he has all of the letters besides one. And I think he said it starts with an E, and he's like, this is going to be my final show. Because they talked about like, yo, bro, how are you going to go out? What are you going to do? That's going to be your very last thing, your very last show. He's like, I'll tell you this. It's going to combine basically everything I did. It is going to be an all-inclusive combination of everything he has ever done.
So what do you mean by shows? Do you mean like stunts or like shows? Because he had like the street magic show.
Like he has, I think it's like a show. Like right now it's David Blaine in spade. Like when he tours the world, like, yo, this is my in spade show. Yeah. So like I don't think it's necessarily gonna be like
a big stunt. But
not it, well, he probably will do stunts during his shows, but probably not like, you know, hold his breath for 17 minutes, not like that. But like he does do stunts during it, does a bunch of tricks, and like even the tricks like the like the ones where he shoves like a ice pick through his bicep. Like he probably does that during shows. So he said it's going to be like all inclusive. It's going to be a combination of everything, and I'm pretty sure it starts with like an E, like the title of the show. And
so he's got like 2 tours left after this finishes this one, his in spades tour.
Yeah,
that's kind of wild. That means he's been working on this for a while.
Yeah, I don't know how long he'll do like the in spades show.
He's
got
to think about something when he's holding his breath for all that time.
Yeah,
I guess. I mean, you definitely get lost in your thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, the craziest thing I ever heard him say when he went for his breath holding thing, he was shooting for like it was like 50 beats per minute of his heart, and he said he went like really over. He was like about like 120, which is, I think that's a little high for you.
Little high even for normal.
Around. But he was nervous. He was in front of a live audience. And then he said like 2 minutes later, he had 1 minute that was 9 beats.
Yeah,
he's like, told
that's wild.
We have a podcast for like the whole thing. We talk about David Blaine. I forget what number it is, but if you scroll through our page,
you'll
you
find
should
it.
See it. You should find it. It's cool. You should listen.
I think it's like 70 something. It was like last fall, so late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. And I'm kind of pumped for what he's gonna do. I don't know.
Who knows? He does, I guess.
Yeah,
probably.
And one thing,
he knows what you're thinking.
Probably.
The tricks, he did some tricks on the podcast. Like he did like card tricks right in front of him.
What name you're
it was
thinking
insane.
Of and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like
he literally told Logan, like, think about something from your childhood home. Think about it. It's like, all right. Logan thought about it. He just grabs cards that are random pictures of stuff, and he flips them out, and he lays them out on the table, and it spelled it out. Logan thought of his journal, like his journal he had as a kid. Again, no indication. Like, he didn't even ask Logan random questions like, what T-shirt you wearing? He literally just said, think of something from your childhood. And then he like flipped cards around, and he flipped it, and it was like a fish hook that made the J, and then something that made the O, and then all the way, and it was like a swing set that made the A, and like you could see it in each of the pictures, it spelled it out, and like Logan knew it after he flipped out the first 3 or first 4. He's like, oh man, he's gonna get it, this is gonna be so stupid, because they're like, you know, freaking out that like how is he doing this, and he flipped out when it spelled journal, and it was really cool.
It is weird.
It is insane.
There'll probably be never another person as good as he is at those, like, just the volume of tricks.
Never someone that you could be like, that is the most interesting man in the world.
Well, that's another thing he said. They told him that, and he's like, no, dude, I know 10 people that are better than me, but they don't ever show it. They're on camera. And then Logan
like,
looked.
Some people that live up in the mountains and are like making, you know, freaking king cobra snakes like listen to their commands.
Yeah.
There's got to be people that got some skills that are
nice Karate Kid reference too. I like that. But another thing is like Logan, he was like, oh yeah, he looked, because like on the set, David Blaine had a team with him, and that's what like David Blaine was referring to. Like, nah, there's all those guys right there on my team. They are far better than me. But I can't remember if he said they can't show their face or they just don't want to.
Probably don't want to.
Or they will not. But like apparently like he basically has like teachers that are like even better than him, and he's just kind of like the guy that does it. Which is crazy.
He's the showman.
Yeah.
There's like people who
are just as good. Obviously,
probably better.
Probably not the endurance stuff, but like the sleight of hand and the card tricks and that stuff.
For sure.
Probably not the endurance stuff, because obviously they're not going to train with him.
From like the breath holding world record and the deprivation experiment.
They're not going to train with him, you know. He's the only one that's going to do that stuff. But like, who teaches him the tricks and figures it out?
Yeah,
it's probably his team. That's just as good as him, if not better.
Let's see that.
It's insane.
You guys know Michael from Vsauce?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh yeah. Michael, Vsauce here. No, Vsauce, Michael here. That's what it is.
Vsauce, Michael here. Yeah, well, go look that up on YouTube, and you'll have the best next 6 hours of your life. I mean, he has produced some of the best content on YouTube ever.
They're all like potassium, a really cool way, I think, to like gain knowledge. Yeah. At least the videos I watch. I think they do a lot of like Vsauce entertainment stuff, like not just science and knowledge, right? Or am I wrong? Just science
I kind of missed your question there.
So doesn't Vsauce do more than just like educational videos? Don't they do like real entertainment ones too?
Yeah, they're entertainment, but they educate you through the entertainment.
Maybe not then. Like, is it like Veritasium?
Yeah, very similar to Veritasium.
Okay, that's what I thought. I didn't know if they also did on top just regular like random content. I thought they did. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Yeah, I think I'm thinking of like that too or something. Isn't that a channel?
I'm not sure.
Never mind.
But yeah, they're really cool. But anyways, Michael from Vsauce did this experiment where he lived in a room for, I think, 4 days. For about 4 days. And it was completely bright, and the room was completely white. So, like, he had no ability to see sunlight. And it was real funny, because... And he was also... It was, like, isolation and then no sunlight. And, I mean, he said he started getting real weird. And the door was never locked. But on, like, the second day, he, like, opened the door and just, like, looked out. They said if people in the studio were there, like, monitoring him the whole time, they're like, Michael, like, do you want to be done? He was like, looked real confused, and he shuts the door. He goes back in. And it was funny, the first night, he was in there, he got in there at, like, I think it was, like, 11 a.m. the one day. And he's like, well, guys, I think it's about time for me to go to bed. I usually go to bed about 10:30. It was 7 p.m. He's like, I'm gonna go to sleep. Like, lays down. Obviously, there's no sunlight. And then he wakes up, and he's like, I feel real well rested. I think I got my full 8 hours in. I'm guessing it's probably about 8:30, maybe 7:30 in the morning. It was 2:30 in the morning. And how crazy and how quickly his day and time got messed up just from the lack of sunlight was crazy.
I saw the same exact thing, but it was opposite. A guy who spent like 5 days or something in complete darkness, like absolute, like, you know, he had to feel his way, not even the slightest bit. And it was like the same exact thing where obviously you have no concept of time or day. So he's like, yeah, it's probably about like 7 in the morning, and it'd be like 9 at night, and he'd be all messed up.
Interesting.
Yeah, it'd be cool to do those, but it would suck for those few days probably.
Yeah.
So they'd have to get insanely bored.
But anyways, how did we start on this? It's because we're doing one out here. I mean, it would be nice out here because we would still see the sunlight and everything. And then we could make like tarp the porch off and make like a bathroom out there, sort of. Like, so we're not actually leaving to use the restroom. Like, still feels like we're trapped in here. But we have somewhere to go to use the restroom.
So what do you want to do? A complete brightness one, darkness, or just confined out here?
Just being here.
Confinement.
Okay.
It's not technically isolation. It would be isolation between the 5 of us. And then live stream it for 3 days.
Bro.
We'd have to like get someone on the outside to like get us like supplies, because I don't want to like stack up 5 days of food and like have 5 days of like dishes and trash out here. You know, we'd have to have someone that comes out like twice a day that like takes the trash, gives some food.
We can't have contact with the outside world.
Well, we could just like do trash bags.
If we
could
have
do paper
contact
plates.
with each other, it'll be like no different if someone else. Like if it was just one person out here, then like, yeah, no one can come out and talk to them. But like if it's gonna be multiple people out here anyway, then I feel like it'd be fine
I went on the side of we have to like stock up for 3 days, and it would also be sleep deprivation. We would try to stay awake for 3
not
days.
A chance.
See how long we can make it.
Scout camp was always like 24 hours, maybe a little more.
It is funny, like how when you get older or whatever. Oh, that's the timer. I'll finish this thought. We'll come back. I will see you guys in a second.
Alrighty.
And we're back. Literally the fastest turnaround we've ever had for sure.
Definitely.
But so what did I just say?
You said you were gonna finish your thought.
I know, and I can't remember.
What thought was it?
Oh, about all-nighters.
All-nighters.
It's so crazy. After you complete like 2 or 3 all-nighters, like when you're younger, your motivation to, like, at least mine, dropped.
Because I've done it.
I've done 2, And then like every time like someone like encourages me, like, let's do it. I'm like, yeah, okay. And then it'll get to like 12 o'clock and I'm like, why am I doing this? I've already done one before. I've experienced it. I don't care to like stay up and like, if other people like know that I did it that night or whatever. I'm like, I'm going to bed. I don't care. Like you have to do it like a couple times. A true all-nighter.
At least twice.
Yeah. But then after you do it twice, like, at least for me, I'm like, yeah, I never have to do this again. And I don't care. I've done it. I could say I've done it.
But, like, if the party's going good, like, if I'm at a party and the party's going good, sure, I'll stay up till 3:30, 4. That's
I'm not
whatever.
Shut it down.
But, like, I'm not in a rush to, like, well, we made it this far. Let's just finish it out. Like, no. Like, that's not happening.
Where did I do one?
Have you ever done one outside of scout camp?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think of the exact spot because I know there's been like at least once. I think at least
I did
twice.
some at Evan's house.
Some pretty casual ones.
Oh yeah,
Magic.
Yeah. Like that, I think that was one of the times I was thinking of. Like
there's times that we finish a Magic game and it'll be like our third match of the night, and be like, dang, what time is it? And we'll look at our phone.
4:30.
No, it'll be like 7 in the morning.
No.
Yeah, I remember.
What time did you guys get out here?
You
guys would start at like 10
in your
p.m.?
basement.
It would be like in my basement.
Your basement were the hammers.
No.
We'd get there like I remember pulling in my house. It was 6:45 when I walked inside that one time, and we've done another time that might have been more.
Like 9 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't. Because like we would shut down our last game at like 4:30. We're like, oh my gosh, 4:30. We clean up. It's like 4:45. We're sitting there talking. It's like 5:45. Like, oh god. All right. Let's go. Let's go. And like me and Isaiah drag each other out. Me and Isaiah would go out, sit by the cars, and like I think Jacob walked out one time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like the most.
Raining.
That's not rain. It's just the wind.
Yeah, just the wind.
That's like the most extreme case of a Midwest goodbye I've ever heard of.
Yeah, bro.
A 2-hour Midwest goodbye. It's pretty substantial.
But you just start talking at the moment. Another time I'm thinking of. Remember 4th of July, the year after you graduated. I graduated. We were at Derek's house. After the 4th of July concert, we were at Derek's, like, end at, like, 1. Yes. We talked till, I think, 4, didn't we?
Yes,
We didn't plan to, like, talk at all. We were just, like, basically standing by at Derek's. We sat there till 4,
right?
4:30.
Well,
no, right at the road. We were at the road. That's when we went to his basement, basement.
Because we were going to go home.
Yes.
And then it was, like, 4:30, and we're like, screw it, we're just going to sleep here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was, like, a casual, like, 3.5-hour conversation.
Yeah, that just led into middle of the night. But, yeah, that's what I was going to say, like what you said, I'm never going to, like, cut a party short. And there's been times where, like, I just casually did one. I wasn't trying. But, like, if I don't want to and I'm like, other people are like, come on, guys, just stay awake. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to try. But if it happens, it happens.
Yeah. Usually I like it the best when it's, like, the party's just going strong. Mm-hmm. Like, the party we had, like, right before everyone went back to college at Adams.
At the lodge?
At the lodge, yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Like, that was a pretty casual 4 a.m.er.
The time I slapped a casual all-nighter, bro. When we went to Panama. I pulled off like 29 hours with no sleep.
I never did. I always slept pretty decent each night at Panama.
The thing is, you out in the sun
the car ride down.
Oh, yeah.
We left for Florida at 8 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, good time.
It was my mom's van. I didn't like sleep that much. We literally blared music the whole time. No one slept. Then we got there, at like 11. We couldn't get into our hotel room until 4.
3 or 4, yeah.
So it's like, no way to sleep. I'm not going to sleep in this hot parking lot with all these strangers walking around me. So just go out to the beach and wait around. And then you get to the point, it's like, bro, I'm not going to just take a nap now. Just go to bed at, whatever time I do. Mm-hmm. Jeez, it was...
Closest thing I've had to, like, that, like, experience is, like, both of the times we left for snowmobiling, we left at midnight. Because then we leave at midnight. This was our theory. We could leave the day. It was the day of checking out our hotel. You leave early enough, so, like, you leave at midnight. You get there at, like, 10 a.m. And then you can ride from 10 a.m. till 6, 7, 8. And then you check into your hotel. You get dressed in the parking lot and you go out riding all day. And you get a whole extra day of riding. And you don't have that extra day of travel or paying for an extra hotel room. It's absolutely genius. And the only reason it works is because I always drive the first shift because no one else wants to stay awake from 12 to 3:30.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be a long kind of... It'd be a trudge of a day.
It's a long day.
It is a smart
because it's a very like physically, and it's physically enduring the rest of the day because you're out riding and you're just like exhausting yourself, and then we usually have a few drinks like during the day, and
when
works
we
out
went to
good
Panama,
though.
I had the 5:30 to 8 shift. 5:30 in the morning.
It's a terrible time to be driving too, because if you hit the wrong places, you're hitting traffic.
Oh yeah, it started getting busy, like through Alabama.
Yeah. You probably just made it through Atlanta, maybe by then, maybe just south of Atlanta.
We went to Georgia. We went through Alabama.
Oh, oh my bad. My geography's off there.
Because Panama's on
my geography's off.
The handle, so it's a little more.
Yeah, there's pretty much two routes.
Usual.
You can go through Atlanta,
a little more west.
and then like get into Florida.
I figured you'd take 75 pretty much.
Yeah, we got off 75.
You got off 75 and went through Alabama.
Went through Montgomery, Alabama.
I think that's what we did too.
Montgomery.
A lot of people that
sense.
we talked to did it.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it makes sense.
It was a lot more like country road driving.
We like that.
Once you got
Love
south,
that.
A little bit less interstate. But you got to see some interesting fields of interesting plants.
Reminds me, like last Friday, I was working by myself because our boss was on a bachelor party trip in Austin. And I had to go from like one store, I was pretty far south, pretty close to Dayton, to another store that's out in the frickin' country, just the boonies. And there is no good way between the two. Like if I want to do it fast, the fastest way, if I tried, was 45 minutes. So what did I do? I found the longest way. Made it a really nice country drive for an hour. A cool hour piece. In the car by myself. I drove the speed limit for an entire hour. It was very relaxing. Loved that. What?
That sounds pretty
Just
relaxing.
It was. There's always one car riding me the whole way. I was like, just pass me, please. You're ruining my afternoon
Maybe
right now.
Doing the same thing.
Yeah, I think there was a time when they were riding me for a little bit, and then they're like, they backed off, and I was like, okay, cool, we're just chilling now. Me in this car. They followed me for like at least half the way. I was like, you gonna pass me? Because they were riding me pretty good, and then they just like cooled out, and they're like, all right.
Well, anyways, on the topic of work, I know Devin definitely said he had something he wanted to talk about work-wise, and
I think you guys will be able to like jump in and kind of see your thoughts.
We'll chip in with whatever you got. So a little impromptu.
Yeah. So this summer, I got a new job.
It's a co-op.
Yeah, it's a co-op. It's at Crown, big company.
They make like forklifts and Star Wars. We call them Star Wars, like electronic. They're like electric forklifts. Yeah. But like it's hard to explain. They're like stand up though. Yeah. You don't have a seat.
Vertical lifts.
And you use
what they call them.
They call them vertical lifts. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, there's a lot of names.
Reach trucks.
Well, that's one of the things.
Like reach trucks is another one.
They make scissor lifts and all that, don't they?
They make a lot.
They make more than just forklifts and vertical lifts.
Like fridges and stuff.
No, that's Emerson, right? I think
they make tires, rims.
Emerson?
No,
I'm pretty sure they're Emerson Cooling Technologies.
Yeah, they do cooling stuff. I'm pretty sure
fridges and stuff.
I'm pretty sure they make car rims.
I don't think so.
I do not think so.
All right, you keep talking. I'm gonna do a little.
Okay, that's fine.
You're fine.
Because I know someone that works at Emerson.
Yeah, I started a co-op, so I'm doing branch operations. So obviously it's a white collar job. I have to dress up every day and more of an office stuff. And I think the biggest takeaway from it is not only like the stuff that I'm like learning. Right, I'm going there, and that's a lot of people say like the experience. You know, you go and you learn how business runs. I'm like, that's so far that for me, that's not the biggest thing I got out of it. The biggest thing I got out of it, and like that, it assured my thoughts, I guess, or confirmed, what my plan was.
We were both way off. Listen to this. Emerson's two core business platforms, automation solution and commercial and residential solutions, allows us to identify and confront the challenges of an increasingly complex and unpredictable marketplace from a position of strength, driving near and long-term value of a trusted partner of our customers.
That doesn't explain anything. How are they that big? What do they do? I heard automation.
Yeah, like Emerson Climate Technologies.
Yeah,
bro.
I see some HVAC now.
I think they do. Just like,
I guess I was off there.
Yeah, different cooling, maybe probably heating stuff too. But
maybe I'm tripping.
Anyway, so the biggest thing that I got out of it right now is it really assured my thought that of kind of like
You will know what you want to do.
A white collar life is something I really enjoy, and just like the world of business.
Like living in the office?
Yes. Like I enjoy actually like waking up every morning, putting on nice clothes, like black slacks, shirt, maybe a tie, a blazer, maybe some khakis with some nice Docker shoes, like getting dressed up in the morning, grabbing my tag, you know, like getting there, getting to work, walking in the office, sitting down, having my own office, going to meetings. Like I'm like, okay. Because like for the longest time, I always thought like I still do. This is what I always thought I wanted to be, like a businessman. You know, at least for the past few years, I'm like, I want to be a businessman. I want to work my way up, do management, you know, do office work, and like use my brain and have meetings and work with people. And like this job has really like, yeah, that's what you want to do. And I'm like, oh, like I enjoy going into work every day, like living. Because I was a little worried that like, you know, there's a lot of people who do blue collar stuff. Like, am I more hands-on than I think? You know, am I going to get tired of this? Do I want to like do some work every day?
I think the real test will be at the end of the summer, how you still feel about it.
I mean, it is true.
After 3 months of it, I think you'll know if you really enjoy it or not.
But you can still usually tell from the beginning, like, yeah, this is, you know, like, I want to do. Obviously, like, the work itself, not every day I love. But, like, just living in an office and like having people and kind of having like a hierarchy, like it makes my passion and drive to like climb the ranks of business so much stronger. Like I look around at this people and I'm like, gosh, I want to be your boss someday. I want to be your boss, man. I want to like work with these people as a team, but like lead them, you know? Like I want to have an office. Like right now I have a cubicle, obviously. I'm not going to get an office, but like I look around like this side of the room, there's offices, and they're like always, another thing, like side note, those offices are always empty. Like these people,
the meeting rooms?
No, actual like people offices. Like, okay, I get you guys are probably working, and obviously Crown has a bunch of branches, so you're probably traveling, taking meetings. But like, you guys, like you're kind of wasting that office. Like they are never there.
You'll probably be the same way by the time you get your own office. You'll be like always freaking gone, always stuff. On a business trip.
It's probably so true, but it just seems so wasteful. Like, you guys should have the cubicles, just a desk. You're barely there. Whatever. That's a small thing. But yeah, like, I just want to have an office and just, like, I don't know, lead people.
I think it depends on the company a lot, because a lot of I always view, like, business people in that aspect as being, like slow. Everything's slow moving and lethargic. Does it feel like a lot of stuff gets done all the time? Like, it doesn't feel like you're actually doing stuff that's like, damn, this is going to make a difference in like the name of the company.
Yeah, like, because that was another thing I was worried about, is like, it's that, you know, that classic movie and story scene of people working their 8 to 5, you know, white collar office cubicle, like
The Incredibles.
I was just about to say the exact same thing.
Perfect, right?
They hammer that home, and a lot of other movies do too. You know, like middle-aged guy who hates his life. He has a fine job and a fine wage, but he just hates it. And I was worried that's what it is. I'm like, I don't think it is. At least not at the company I'm working for now. Like, it does seem like pretty fast-paced. Like, my boss is always in meetings. Like, my boss, she still has a cubicle, a bigger, nicer cubicle than me, which I want. But even her boss has a cubicle, and he's pretty like high up. Like, he's like branch manager, like branch operations, like, so a lot of whatever. But like, she's always in meetings, and it does feel like fast paced, and you're doing this, and I am doing projects. Like, I could talk to you guys more about it off camera. It's not anything secret. It's just, I don't know. I don't think you guys would find it too entertaining. But like, I am making stuff that, like, yeah, this is what people will use in the future. This is, you know, like, people are gonna see that it's different, and the branches and stuff, and so it's just cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the white collar life is, I think I made the right choice. Obviously, there's going to be some days where I'm going to want to, like,
the days where it's 75 out and it's sunny and it's clear, like, blue skies.
Like, you know, once in like one day out of the month, I'm like, dang, I really wish I was, you know, up and doing something right now, working a little bit.
Kind of ironic, because I talked to a guy this past week. They came out to the golf course and like hit some range balls, and then sat down, had a few drinks, and I was like, yeah, we'll get to talking. I was like, what do you do? And he's like, I'm a roofer. And he's like, and today I did not want to do roofing.
Yeah. It probably is like the same way both ways. Sure, every once in a while, like, people who use their bodies and do more working jobs would
they'd
be
like to sit down and
I wish I could use my brain for a little bit.
The one person I had a conversation with that about was our old scoutmaster Ron, and he's like, yeah, I work outside all day, so when I get home, I want to sit on the computer and not do much. And then my wife's the opposite. She works inside all day, so when she gets home, she wants to garden and be outside and build things and work.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I do that all day, so I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I feel the same way, like doing Scots, which I really enjoy. Like, I feel like there's gonna be a time if I follow this Scots thing, or like even like the merchandiser type, then move it up. Like, I might reach a position in corporate world where like I have this great mix of working out in the sun and out in the day working, but I'm also like I have an office back at corporate, and I get every once in a while, it's like 2 days a week I'm in the office. The other 3 days a week I'm like out doing something, checking on people, whatever. That's where I want to be. Like a great hybrid between
that's how
working outside all the day and working inside all the day.
That's what I always view the world of real estate offering, is the ability to sit back, crunch the numbers, make sure my decisions are going to be profitable, and then also
go out and show a house or whatever.
Do some work.
See, yeah, I'm the same way. Like, that's like, obviously, if you've watched this podcast long enough, all three of us are like pretty big into like real.
All right, we're back. Just us two.
Yep. Luke had to head out,
so a little bit closer to us.
Yeah, it's a good time. Yeah, this is weird.
I can reach out and send you guys going. Yeah. Not gonna though.
But I left off saying about how, like, obviously my grandparents, they have rental properties, and I know for a fact I've been over there and we've had to change like 2 different ovens.
Oh yeah.
Because they just like bleed through them. They don't take care of it that much. It's not theirs. Obviously, my grandparents, like most grandmas, keep everything. If it's on sale, buy it. So she has like a big shed full of like replacement stuff. So we've had to go replace this, washer and dryers. And if some renters don't go out, you have to like refix it up. New renters get in.
See, so, I always view like when I become a landlord, I always have in mind like 5 years, I'll be like the guy. Like I'll have to do all the classic sucky landlord stuff. But after 5 years, my goal is to have it to the point where it's a business, to the point where I'm not doing any of that upkeep.
Yeah, you have a manager and a handy crew.
Property managers.
Yep.
So
I don't know if I'll like ever get to that point or how long it'll take me. Probably because like I hope to like have like a lot of rental properties. So like I'll probably need help unless I get insanely good renters, which that's a huge part of luck that like people don't talk about.
The more you get into it, the less luck it is. The more it is like being willing to evict someone, having really good contracts, and doing a lot of tenant screening.
Yeah, but there's only so much screening you could do, and then
legally as well.
Yeah, and then like obviously you can evict as many people as you want, but like each time you evict someone, it's going to cost you because you probably have to do maybe some legal fees or whatever, and then obviously if you're evicting someone every month, like it's going to suck to constantly be showing people, getting renters in. Because, like, I see a lot of videos on TikTok where they're like, guys, easy way to become self-sufficient by 35. And, like, they're not completely wrong because they talk about how, like, you do this, you get a good job, you reinvest this money into, like, this type of loan to get these houses and everything. And after this, you'll be good. And I'm like, they never talk about, like, getting good renters. Because I've talked to my grandparents about it, and that's a huge part. They have a few places that they've had, like, locked down for, like, the past few years. It's been the same people. They're fine. They take care of it. They're great. And I'm like, if you can get those people, then yeah, it's great. But like, if you get unlucky and you just get a couple bad tenants in a row, it's going to cost you. It's going to slow your growth.
Yeah, so that's like another thing. That's like the first 5 years, like that would be a problem. But you want to get to a point where it's like you're calculating that in, like, of your whole business plan. Like those numbers are included. Like you're expecting tenant turnover.
Yeah.
So.
And that's a whole other aspect too, where like if you invest more money into a nicer property and you have a higher rent, obviously only people with more money, which are usually people who are going to take care of it more, because if they're able to afford that, then usually they're busy enough, they got other stuff going on, that you'll have that less turnover. So I don't know. It's a whole business, a whole side of investing that I'm excited to get into. But I guess how I was saying is that ties into, hopefully I'll live that life, like next few years. Hopefully I'll be there where like doing my job where like I'm working in the office all day and I'm like loving it and I'm rising to the top of the chain in the white collar business life. But at the same time I can go out like Saturday morning, afternoonish, and then like maybe a night here or two there during the week, where I can just like go out and work on these properties, do a little bit of labor, because I got a little bit of a construction background, and obviously I live in town, but our town is pretty country.
Yeah.
So like my family owns a farm.
This is something that keeps recurring to me, bro. I have this desire to get like a few more like experience years under my belt. Just overall life experience. Like work on a crab boat. Like stuff that I feel like be a lumberjack for a couple months, bro.
Jacob says that stuff all the time.
Work on a gold mine. Like that stuff sounds awesome.
It does sound cool, like it's something I would do, but like
you got a pretty long life, you know?
Yeah, and I think I'd rather do, like, again, like, you'd probably go out for those few years. I think you would rather, like, experience this, do this, learn about this weird part of life. Me, personally, I'd rather, like, take those years, like, I want to see how much more experience I can get in, like, the business side of things. Like, how far can I get? Like, can I be, like, a manager of a lot of people by the time I'm, like, 25? Like, what if I spend, like, an extra year, you know? Like, trying to just get into things as early as possible so I can climb as fast as possible. But and then again, there's that whole point where like you can't get too deep into it, you know. People that get in too deep and then they have no other life besides that. You know, those are people that are usually the most depressed. Like lawyers are like the highest for suicide. Like they're super successful and they work a lot and they're probably good at it, but
yeah.
So I mean, you gotta strike that balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I kind of brought that whole up just to see if, well, what Luke was here, but either you guys had just kind of like the same experience of you're learning something. Like, I know you kind of said something small, like you don't want to do service, because right now you are in the service.
So I brought that up earlier. I serve at a restaurant, and, like, I don't like it. Like, it...
I've done a little service, too, and I don't like it. It's
not the most enjoyable thing. Like, I'm prideful enough to say I'm very good at it, and I think a lot of people would say I'm extremely good at it. But just not something I could... I mean, it's a high burnout industry, and I think I have a high burnout tolerance. I don't feel like I ever get burned out from like an extreme standpoint, but not something I want to do my whole life. And I feel like the financial abilities of it is extremely capped off.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the American service industry is crazy. I have one cousin who's trying to become a deckhand on like a cruise ship, and she's getting to travel all over the world and stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it is kind of crazy.
Yeah, because that's another thing because like you're basically a manager there too, aren't you?
Yeah.
So like I kind of would ask you like, what's that like? Because I know you kind of said earlier like I don't like the service, bro. I honestly don't really want to be a manager at this. I'd rather just come in and do my job.
Yeah, managing people actually is probably one of the better parts of my job. I complain about it a little bit, but it is kind of nice. I've gotten very good at, like, it sounds bad to say, like, persuading someone to do something for you, but when I say persuading them, it's more so encouraging them, but explaining why. The two strongest things I have found is, like, giving someone a why, like, you have to do this because of all these reasons. So in their head, they can logically and rationally understand, like, yep, okay, it is done this way because of this.
Mm-hmm.
And then also setting an example. And that is the most important thing, is obviously setting the example, things as simple as, like, well, I need you to do the bathrooms because sometimes I do the bathrooms. And it needs to be done to this level because that's the level I do it to. And that's kind of what we expect.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it's been for a manager.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool. I'd be curious because, again, hopefully one day, like hopefully pretty soon, I'll be in like a managerial role.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to school for.
The biggest problem for me is like from a financial standpoint, you know, we're getting tips, so we're all kind of getting, you know, not paid the best. And I'm not trying to like complain here. And I think they're really fair, a lot better than a lot of other places where you get tipped. But there's not a large divide between being a manager. Like, I'm still an hourly wage. It's more like everyone just has started calling me the manager. And in a way, I feel like I'm doing a decent amount of work in that position without the financial compensation that a manager would normally receive at a corporate level.
Yeah.
So it's a balance between that, because some days I feel like, you know, like I'm not really being compensated to be a manager here. So like, how much should I actually manage? Mm-hmm. Or should I just, I mean, it's a summer job, right?
Yep.
So I'm not trying to work there's nowhere to work up to. Yes, like I'm at the top of my food chain here. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want to become like the head chef. I don't want to, you know, become the pro or anything like that. I'm at the top of my food chain. So
yeah,
the desire to hound is a little capped there. But I've always just been a hard worker. So I think you should do it. So I'm going to work hard.
Yeah, 100%.
But like the ability to move up, like that next hunk of meat, the next prey you can chase after,
yep,
doesn't exist.
That's what I'm kind of on, because I'm pretty much at the bottom.
Yeah.
At my company, and there's a lot of ways to go up, and that was a huge thing about orientation too. And again, this was like the first like real job I've had, like business job. So I'm pretty confident that like a lot of companies are like this, but they were super adamant about like you moving up, and like they brought in people who told stories like, yeah, been here for 5 years, I've had 6 different positions, and each one's like a step up from the next, and like they're constantly moving because they said like they promote their own. They're proud to say it. They won't hide it.
Yeah, I think a lot of companies try to do that. So for sure,
I'm interested to see, if I can keep moving up. And kind of what you were saying earlier about how like setting an example. I'm kind of like doing like the flip side by like
and that's what I did. So like the first 2 months I worked out there, I worked so hard. Like anything I was told, I did it to the best of my ability, and trying to stay out of like the financial realm there. Yeah. Like what did it really only kind of led to just like me being the more experienced managerial person. Yeah. Which that comes with a lot of benefits too. I get a lot of the
respect.
Not respect, I'm a completely different page than that. What I'm trying to say here is like there's times in the service industry when you get your hours in and you get your money. Like there's just big paydays. Mm-hmm. I get to work a lot of those paydays, those big paydays, those big tip days, which is nice.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to complain about that.
Say like I'm on the flip side because right now I'm doing everything because like obviously I'm working as hard as I can, but I'm also doing like littler things. Like I always try to be every day like to be like almost the best dressed person there because I always say dress for the job you want, not the job you have. So I'm hoping I go in there every day, and I like to think that I'm a step up from. I'm trying to level it up enough so I'm slightly above people, but also not being that cocky son of a bitch. That's like, what is this college kid coming in here with a full suit and like the full-time workers who are successful themselves are like, really, dude? So I'm trying to like, I know my first day I wore a shirt, tie, blazer, and they're like, wow, you look all fancy, and they're like, oh, I thought someone big was walking through. I was getting nervous, and I was like, all right, so I'll bring it down a little bit because if I wore this every day, but still there are some days where I still do wear a blazer, and like it'll be like khakis and like a blue blazer and shirt tie, but I always try to be just slightly above. And another thing is I always stay like 15 minutes after I should. Like my hours, like the average day, I get in at 8, I have a half-hour lunch, I get out at 4:30, so 8 hours of work and a half-hour lunch. But every day I stay like, even if I'm not doing anything, because there are some days that are slow where I don't have that much work, or I'm as far as I can go until I talk to my supervisor and like she's busy or whatever, but I'll stay till 4:45. Just so when people walk out, they're like, oh yeah, Devin leaves at like 4:40, 4:45 every day. And like, and if someone asks like, what, aren't you, when do you get done? I'm like, oh, I'm done at 4:30. Yeah. They're like, why are you leaving now? Because like, there's another thing. My boss's boss sits right by like where I walk in and out every day. And again, he's not there very often, but when he is, I hope maybe something he picks up on. Like, if he asks my supervisor, like, hey, when does Devin get off? He's like, oh, 4:30. She knows I go down there. Like, okay. Hopefully just every day he'll see me be there, 10, 15 minutes later. Because like a lot of people I've noticed, like the people that work next to me and also like friends I know work there, like as soon as it hits that time, they're kind of out. Which is completely understandable. Like I'm only getting paid and you're only getting paid and you're only asked to be there for that time. So like you leaving at that time, it's normal. It's fine.
I see the same thing. Like I have people scheduled like 9 to 2. And I mean, there's still stuff that can be done up until 2:15, and we don't even make people clock out at 2. I mean, you get paid for the time you're there, but they'll be like, "Oh, I'm off at 2." And like how the service industry works, you have like switch people that come in, like mesh people. So you'll be like 9 to 2, and then we'll have someone coming in like 1:30. So you kind of overlap by half an hour. And even though like the lunch rush is done, it's kind of not nice to leave that switch person with like your whole mess to clean up. And there's some people who just leave, some people stay. But our staff is improving a lot at that. And that's good. I mean, that's a big thing about the service industry is everyone being able to mesh and work well together. Yeah. So.
But yeah, like I think just today, like my supervisor came and talked to me real late. She got done with meetings. So I'm like, I asked her a few questions, this, and she's like, yeah, you can do this. So like, I got work to do tomorrow. But I'm like, let's just grind a little bit out today. So I think today, again, she knows I get off at 4:30. I think at like 4:35, I sent her an email like saying I have something done, or I asked her another question. I'm like, it was one of those like, I'm pretty sure this is right. Should I assume this? And whatever. And I'm hoping she notices like, hey, he said this 4:30. He's still working, you know. Maybe she'll. Just those little things that like. You know, he's ready. He's ready for this job. He's ready to do this. And
I think the biggest problem I have is like not even my own business, but like it's in a way I'm almost only willing to put in the extra effort if it's like a direct extreme benefit to me. Like almost like if I'm the entrepreneur, right, I'm gonna work as hard as I can.
It's probably another thing too is like if you see a future for doing it.
Yeah, if you see a future.
Because like I could see how it would be. How again, I don't work where you work in the service business, but I could see how if you're there and there's not much of a future there, it'd be tough to like give 110%. Because like, you know, like no veteran in the NFL knowing that this is like his last season is going to come and work harder than he ever has.
I mean, you see it all the time. People are NFL players when they're up for contract years. They go ham. They go ham
because they have a future to work for.
They get the bag and they kind of drop off. The next year.
Yeah. So I think right now I see a future in what I'm doing. So. I have that motivation to stay a little bit longer, just a little nicer, you know.
Yeah.
Be there.
And hopefully I can get the opportunity. I actually, when I want to become a real estate agent, I just got sponsored by a real estate brokerage firm. And hopefully once I start doing that, I mean, I'm going to stay extra. I don't even care if obviously you only make money off commissions, but I'm going to have to put in 100 hours of study for my test, 100 hours of just learning. I mean, I'll probably put in 500 hours of work before I even sell my first property and see my first income from it, not let alone all the college classes I had to take to be eligible to take the test.
Yeah.
And all the hours of getting a background checked and all this stuff, you know. But since I see a future in it, I'm going to work hard.
Yeah.
I'm going to meet the people I need to meet, talk to the people I need to talk to, you know, to try to be successful. Yeah. And in no means am I like any way saying anything bad about the job I have right now. I absolutely love it. I mean, I do put in a lot of effort because I want the place to succeed. I actually have worked there for 7 years. Dang.
Yeah.
That's a lot. But, yeah. So I want the place to run nice. I want people to be happy out there. I want people to have a good image of our little golf course in our hometown.
Yeah. Means a lot to you, but it may not mean everything to you.
Yeah.
So, that's cool.
It'll be fun to buy that place someday.
Yeah, for real, dude.
A little something I think of sometime.
We'll buy it together. Be good.
That would be lit. Own a golf course. I probably wouldn't change a thing.
Owning a golf course, having the greatest podcast on earth. Be a good time. You ready to wrap it up?
I think so.
I think so too.
Hopefully you guys can take something away from this. Hopefully you listened up, learned a thing or two. Had a thought that's popped into your head.
Had some realizations or something about your own life.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll leave you with this. Stay curious. Don't let yourself be bland. Always be a thinker in life. Question things.
But don't question liking this podcast or subscribing.
You know you do.
Thank you guys so much. Catch you next time.
Peace.